Hello, friends. It's Friday, February 26th, time for my thought of the day. In my life, I have had 6 incredible dogs as a companion. My first one was a dog we renamed Houdini because he was able to escape from everywhere. The last time that he escaped was after we had moved into our new home. He jumped through the window on the first floor, of course, over the porch that was in front before that window, and over a hedge, and took off down the road. Now, he came back to visit about 2 years later, as I remember, for the day. He played with my brothers and I, and then at dinner time, he took off once more. Now, we celebrated the fact that he was well cared for. He was healthy and well fed. We have no idea where he lived the other times, the rest of their life. April was my third dog, and she probably got to become the most famous and celebrity status in our family. She entered my life when I was in high school, and she lived well beyond my graduation from both college and seminary. But her most famous moment, or infamous moment, came when my folks went away for a weekend. Now, they had farmed out my 2 younger brothers, so I was responsible for taking care of the house and being safe. My grandmother called. Now, I don't have a whole lot of connections with my grandmother. She didn't contact us very often, at all even. But that particular weekend, she called wanting to know where my dad was. That would have been her son. And I said that they were away for the weekend, as were my 2 brothers, and I was home alone. I was home. And she said, "Who's staying with you?" And I said, "April, of course." And the phone went dead. On Monday evening, when my dad got home from work, as we sat at the dinner table, he said, "Hey, did Grandma call over the weekend?" I said, "Yeah, but she didn't leave a message." "Did you tell her that April was here with you?" "Well, of course I did." And it was at that moment that it suddenly struck my mind. She thought April was my girlfriend. She'd have no clue that it was our dog. And we as a family had a big chuckle about that. And every once in a while, we raise it for giggles. And then there was Bernie. He was Alex's choice. Alex selected him from the dogs at the Sonoma County Humane Society kennel. And Bernie was a great dog and companion for all of us, as well as a great protector of Alex. Bernie entered our life when Alex was still in grade school, elementary school, and playing soccer most weekends. He frequently joined Jonah and I on the sidelines when Alex played. On one particular Saturday, I remember that he was along with me as we went up for Alex's early practice time. Alex was warming up for his game, and Bernie was tugging on my arm as I was talking with another dad. I yanked him back, and after about 3 or 4 times, and I kept saying, "Bernie, stop," I turned and sternly told him, "Stop." It's then that I noticed that he was pointing. He was staring ahead. There was a blonde-haired boy lying on the ground with some adults around him. When I simply said, "Not your boy," Bernie relaxed, came over, sat beside me, but he did scan the crowd until he found his boy. Novak, our current companion, entered our life almost 7 years ago now. When I first met him at the Humane Society kennel, the husky was excited but reserved. We went into their enclosed fence area where people got a chance to play with their forever pets, and I threw a ball for Novak to go and chase. He did, dropped it at my feet. I picked it up and I tossed it a second time. And he looked up at me with that one blue and one green eye and said, "Are you kidding? Once is enough." And I said, go get it, go fetch. He didn't. He still doesn't do that very often. Or once, and that's it. One time, one throw, that's all you get. He's a great dog. But I did notice something peculiar. After we had brought him home, and Joan and I were doing a big cleaning in the house, I was using a duster to get the corner between the wall and the ceiling. And I was going around the room, and all of a sudden Novak got up quickly off his pillow and kind of hustled back to the back bedroom where his kennel was. And I heard him go in the kennel, in his safety place, his secure spot. I thought it a little odd. And after I finished that room, I walked back to the kennel, to the bedroom where the kennel is, still holding the duster in my hand. And I called him out. I said, come on, Nov, let's go. And he wouldn't leave. In fact, he tried to back up into the corner even more. It was then that I realized that it was the duster that was scaring him. Not so much the duster, but that it had a long wooden handle. So I went back out to the other room, left the duster there, walked back and told him, never, Novi, would you be hit with a stick. Never would you be hit. Come on out. And he did. As soon as the stick was gone, he was okay. I learned, or I suspected, he must have been abused with a stick in his previous home. He seemed to understand me and accept me. But he still has his moments. One of those was Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Now, he has a routine of sleeping in the bedroom up until the time that I go back to go to bed. If Joan has gone to bed before me, he certainly sleeps back there, I guess, to protect her. And when I get there, he takes off. When I'm sleeping by myself, he's there to protect the room and then leaves to go out into the TV room where he sleeps on his favorite pillow or one other spot. On Wednesday night, I went to bed, fell asleep, and after a short nap, I heard him coming into the room. His clicking of his toenails on the laminate floor woke me up. He settled first on the pillow that's there. Then he walked over to the side of the bed, lay down for a few moments. That apparently wasn't comfortable enough either. He headed off into his kennel for a little bit longer. And that still wasn't comfortable. And I'm wondering, what's going on, Novak? Why are you so restless? Got out of the kennel, he sat down next to the bed, put his head on the mattress, and looked at me. And that's when I heard how fierce the wind was blowing outside of our house. There's a bush beside our house that was rubbing up against the side of the house. I think all of those things were just annoying him, aggravating him, creating anxiety for him. He finally laid down beside the bed, and I could hear him snoring. He'd found his safe spot, his secure spot. On Thursday morning, as we got up and headed out to the backyard for him to do his regular routine, he still walked out cautiously, like he was waiting for the wind to blow hard. He came back in to have his breakfast, and then we went for our walk. And as we were walking down our street, he was walking very slowly, cautiously. Nov, I said, you know the wind has stopped, and we're all okay. When he heard me say those words to him, his pace picked up a little bit. I believe that he had been assured that everything was going to be okay. And then when we got back home, as I headed into the shower, he lay down on the pillow in the bedroom. And as I was leaving, he walked me to the front door. Now, that's not normal for him. Usually he just crawls into his kennel when I'm leaving for work. But I must admit, him walking me to the front door was rather assuring. And it got me to start thinking. He heeded my words of encouragement. He needed my words of encouragement as well during that fearful time. He needed to hear me say that we were and will be okay. He needed words of hope and comfort. And I wonder then about others who are so anxious these days with all of the uncertainty that surrounds us. Anxious about the future, anxious about when life will return to normal, whatever that was. Anxious about schools, about sports, about music, about life. What if we adults shifted the conversation with those who are anxious? What if we reminded them that they are okay, that we are okay? What if we said this strangeness will stop and we will be okay? We are okay. What if we encouraged rather than fed into that anxiety? What if we didn't feed the anxiety at all? Imagine that, a conversation that goes something like, I'm afraid of this. I don't like this. I understand that. It's not what we ever wanted. It's not what we hoped for. But it will be better. We'll be okay. What can we do about it now? Do you need to be reassured? Well, then let me say to you, this strangeness will come to an end. Life will return to a form of what it used to be. Maybe not right away. Maybe we'll still have to take care of things for a while longer. At least here the wind has stopped and we are okay. You and I will be able to gather in worship again sometime. We will be able to listen to live music. We will be able to gather at the soccer field and in theaters for movies and high school productions. We will survive. I hope that those of you who are anxious and wanting normal to return right now will, like Novak, realize that words are powerful. I hope that you will be assured that the scariness of today will abate. We are okay. We will be okay. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday as we gather for our virtual worship. Or it's also Sunday was a parking lot worship service for here at Shepherd of the Hills, because after worship at 10:45, we'll begin our congregational meeting. Looking forward to seeing you all then. But until then, please, please, please remember those important steps we've been taking. Wear your mask, double mask perhaps. Wash your hands 20 seconds at a time, a couple times a day. Use hand lotion, because I noticed my hands are getting very dry now. Lotion makes a big difference. Please love one another. Love the anxiety out of one another. Love the fear out of one another. And when you need to, keep your 6-foot distance, but still smile. The mask can show that some way. Let it show through your eyes. And of course, Sergeant Esterhaus dismisses us with those famous words for us as we go about our daily ministry life. Be careful out there.